Hi, this is just a video that's going to do an initial squad assessment. We've started again. Our third Lanark AC will no longer be as at the end of this month. And we are going to be doing the new user journey as Wanderers FC. And this is our starting squad. We had a quick look through already just to make sure that we didn't have any good players, because if we did, we'd have to restart. We want to make sure that we don't have any players that basically could be sold for any money. We want a below average starting squad, and that's what we've got, luckily, so we don't have to restart. So obviously if you're a new user, you would like to have a good squad potentially, and you want to check it out, and if you're not happy with it, you can re-roll the dice, so to speak, start again and see if you can get a better one. But we didn't want to do this journey with a above average squad. We wanted to reflect kind of what you could expect, I guess, as a new user, not what you could expect if you got lucky. So this is our squad. We're going to go through the players quickly, give our initial thoughts, and what we broadly plan to do. We've also purposely started today, which is the first after the transfer window was closed. And we've done that on purpose because it makes it harder to do anything about signing any new players for your squad. So in some ways it's the best way to start, and in other ways it's the worst time to start. If you're impatient, it's a really terrible time to start because you can't really, other than free agents, you can't really sign anybody to improve your squad. But that's fine. We don't need to really sign anybody besides free agents. Immediately in the qualifying league, it's not a big deal if you don't win these matches. The more important thing is that for next season, when we're in a league, that we have our team sorted out. And from that perspective, starting during the last week, it's not that bad because you can't make those sort of instant purchases. It means that you're less likely to do anything on a whim, anything sort of based on impulse. You're more likely to do properly thought out decisions and get your squad sorted out over the whole week and the beginning of next month for that season, rather than potentially signing some players now that we don't actually want. Apologies, I've got a bit of a sore throat. So without further ado, let's just go through our players, give our views on things, and see what we might have to do here. Now, we've already had a quick look at them to make this video a bit more fluid, so we'll just repeat. So, sincere apologies here for my throat. So we've got a keeper here that we're happy to use. He's got all-round okay attributes, but importantly he can catch. He's got decent reflexes, he can jump okay. He's got a bit of agility and whatever about him, and just, decent enough physicals, above average mentals, and decent enough across the board technicals, but also importantly he's just got good catching and reflexes, and like I said, across the board decent. So overall we're happy to go with this guy. We'll probably, it's definitely the case that we might be able to pick up a better keeper. However, of everything we have to do, this is actually the lowest priority, I believe. So the next player is Paulo Santos. I think he's decent for a new user squad player. He's usable, good physicals, a bit low endurance, and this is a theme across our whole squad. All of our players pretty much have low endurance, which is going to make it real hard, because if you've got a few players with low endurance, that's fine. In matches you can sub them off when they're tiring, but you can't sub off everybody, and we're going to have a bit of a problem there. He can't finish, so he's no good as striker. But as a right winger, he's functional. So he might play some kind of role in the qualifying matches that we have to play. Next player is Mikel Esteban. I think he's nice, to be honest. Got really nice technicals, and good defensive ones. Mentals are below average, especially for a player of his age. But physicals are decent, and mentals are decent. Ultimately, his natural fitness real low, and endurance not so great. But overall, he's definitely going to be starting our matches. He basically can either play holding midfield or centre half or right back. Now, ideally, he's only got 12 jumping, so ideally and he's got decent crossing order. Ideally, right back or holding midfield. Now, I think it's the case we're going to play him in holding midfield because we don't really have any left backs and we don't really have any depth in right back. So we're playing 3 centre halves and holding midfield, and this guy is going to be a holding midfielder. Next one is Alexandru Priet. I don't even want to pretend I can pronounce that. Sorry. He is again. He's decent all-round technicals, good mentals, okay physicals for a 32-year-old. But yet again, 4 natural fitness, only 10 endurance. He's going to tire. But he's at starting centre half. 33-year-old. Good finishing, composure, decent off the ball, can shoot. Not so great defensive attributes or passing, so I think no good as a holding midfielder. And too late to even retrain him, even at 74% as an attacking midfielder because of his age. So he's not good enough for us to care about retraining. But he is going to be our starting striker, one up front. All in all, for the level that we're at, he's got great goal scoring attributes. Imagine he'll score a few goals. And at least he's got a bit of endurance. So one player that we won't have to sub off. So we're okay with this guy who'll start up front. Next player. He good finishing, composure off the ball, real nice all-round technicals, decent all-round physicals. Can't jump though. Worth a note. And okay mentals. But importantly for a striker, he's got good mentals in sort of the ones that you care about the most. Composure off the ball, anticipation. So from pure goal scoring perspective, decent, but he's also got decent creative attributes. I mean, 17 passing, he's only got the 5 in vision. Our plan is to play him in AMC, but also in matches we can just interchange if we can push him up and back between AMC and striker, depending on how things are going. We think he can do a job in either role. So he's going to start. I think he's one of our better players. Next player, again, nice all round, and he's got 17 passing, 19 vision, so great creative attributes. For us, he just looks like a really good central midfielder because he's just nice and all rounded and he can distribute the ball really well. So great. I think the only thing that's really bad about this player for us is that he's just got, again, just low endurance, real low natural fitness as well. So he's going to tire a lot. But I think it's the case that even as we rebuild our squad, I think this guy will probably potentially be one of the couple players that does actually end up hanging around the longest before we get rid of him, because I think he'll be a real useful substitute still for all of next season, all of our season and properly in the league, and maybe even the one after that, possibly. So yeah, nice all round, and it's just a shame he doesn't have higher endurance because it's just too low. He's not going to be our last matches out. But like I said, could be a useful bench player for a while to come, and for now he's definitely starting in central midfield. Another attacking player, 18 finishing, good finishing but lower composure and quite low off the ball. Decent dribbling. For us, he's going to play on the wing. I think we've got him on right wing. Just sort of decent all round, kind of okay attributes, but there's no real sort of long-term future for this guy, but for now he will start. He can catch, but he's got nice technicals, but he can't jump. But overall, yeah, it's just for this level, he's a fine backup goalkeeper, so he'll be that. But again, going to be pretty easy to improve on this guy as well. Another player that got good finishing, good crossing, long shots, decent goals, pretty good goal scoring attributes, and pretty decent winger attributes. But again, just that real low endurance and natural fitness, just a theme through our whole squad, which is going to really hurt. For now, we're starting him on the left wing. Real low endurance, just running theme through everything. Can't jump either, which is a bit of a problem for a centre half. But other than that, great. Other than the fact that he can't last the whole match out and that he can't jump for a centre half, other than that, he's really good. Really nice technicals, all rounded. Really nice mentals. I think this is another player who might hang around for quite a while as a squad player, as a sub to back up for matches. But for now, yeah, definitely starting as well. Definitely starting. Next player, he's just not good enough, I think. 6 tacklings, so can't play any defensive position, and he's just quite slow for a right winger, and got no first touch, can't finish, no vision. I just think no, there's no place for him. Can't head the ball at all, only for heading. If it wasn't for that, maybe. His tackling's not that great, but he can mark. He's got good jumping, good physicals, for a centre half anyway. But yeah, for now, just he's on the bench and he'll probably end up playing some matches and be useful for this season in the qualifying league. But he's too deficient. The tackling just isn't quite good enough, and that could be forgiven if there was no other problems, but the heading is a massive problem, so no good. But good enough for now to play a role. Just technicals are way too low. The only thing you can do is throw the ball in. And whilst the physicals are great and the mentals are really good for a 22-year-old, the physicals are just awful. So there's just no place for this guy. Just third choice keeper, and we'll easily be able to upgrade him. I think he'll be gone very soon. It's okay, but just physicals really low. Only got endurance, which is a keeper, so whatever. Really low physicals, and yeah, he's 20 years old. He's not good enough to play now, and he's never going to be good enough at any point in the future. So he's just going to be gone. This player's a little bit interesting in that if he was an MC now, or a DMC, DMC, maybe he could play now and do a bit of a job. But as an AMC, he just doesn't have, like, dribbling's too low, and off the ball is too low. He's just not good enough to play as an AMC. Potentially we could do something with him if he was a DMC or an MC, but the thing is, like, that's just now. He's never going to be good enough in the long-term future, and it's definitely not worth us trying to retrain his position or anything. I think he just pretty much is on the bench for now, and if we want to play a defensive attacking midfielder because we want to try and hold a lead somehow or something or other, maybe he'll come off the bench in the odd match in the qualifying leagues, but no future. attribute who's not going to be good enough in the future. In the present, he's going to be on a substitutes bench. You might play some games because he's not bad. He's got decent attributes for position. Not really good enough. Like only 13 finishing, 9 composure, pretty low. Decent off the ball. So you're not that great as a striker, but okay. As a winger, he can't cross. As an AMC, his dribbling is only 10, his passing is only 11, his vision's only 8. But at the end of the day, he's sort of deficient in all of these positions. But he can also kind of do a bit of a job in any of them, and I think he might play a role in the qualifying league matches for us. He can't finish, but other than that, not bad. Really useful. He's going to be on the bench. He might play a role. He can. The unfortunate thing for him is that he can only play right wing. If he could play another position, play left wing as well or something, then maybe there'd be a bit more of a chance he could play some matches off the bench. But he might end up playing. I think it's just a bit unfortunate that he's decent-ish. Definitely not good enough for a long-term future. I'm just talking simply for the qualifying league matches here if we don't sign anybody else. The only thing for him is that right wing is the only position where we've actually got any depth, and he's probably the 4th choice or something. That's the thing working against him. Can't tackle or mark, so can't play left wing back. Got no pace and he can't finish. He can't pass that well. I think he can't really play left wing back at all. He can't really play left midfield because I don't think he just does. He'll probably be on the bench. He might play somehow, but he doesn't really provide any kind of an option for us because he's not solid defensively and he's not really that great an attacking threat either. So what is he? He's not providing you anything to attack. He's not going to help you defend at all. He's a liability defending. It's just really hard to imagine any scenario where he might be on the bench, but it's really hard to imagine any kind of match scenario where he would come on. So I think he just doesn't play. Next player is just gonna mark ourselves as busy. So next player is George Hill. He's going to start for us, but he's probably the weakest starting player in our team, I think. He's got a bit of endurance. At least he can play a match out. We need to play at least a few players who can actually complete a match. His physical's all around decent. I mean, nothing special at all. And he's definitely going to end up, falling by the wayside. He might last out till the end of next season as a squad player. I don't know. But he's starting for now. Decent all round central midfielder. I think can attack a bit, can pass a bit. Not really a goal scoring player. More of a defensive player. But I think, yeah, he'll definitely play a big role in the qualifying league matches. But after that, I honestly don't know. He's on the substitutes bench and he might end up playing a limited role as sort of tactical option, but really he's got a big problem that he's a defender and he can't really defend, which is a bit of a problem. His tackling's only 11, his marking's only 13, but despite that, he probably is still going to play some matches off the bench for us because despite the fact he's not very good, he's far from our worst player, pretty much, but high determination, but not really any future as a player really because he's a defender who can't defend, so there's no real future for him. This player is another defender. He's only got 11 tackling, a bit better marking, and he's on the substitutes bench for us, and he might play a role for the qualifying league fixtures, but I think overall just no real future really for a defender who can't defend. And then also he's got super low endurance, which is fine for a substitute, but he can't really start either. So, but yeah, there's not really any future for defenders who can't defend or for attackers who can't attack for that matter. So he's no future for him. This player, 18, only 18, but he's only got the 9 determination. I think that would probably not, if he had 20 or at 9 a really high determination, then maybe we could persist with this guy and see how he turns out over time. But endurance too low to ever really be a starter properly, I think. Maybe not. Maybe he could just get in there. Physical's alright all round. Mental's pretty good for an 18-year-old. And the technicals, if they progress quite a bit, maybe. But the thing is, maybe this guy, he could have potentially been a project player, potentially, if he had high determination, but he doesn't. He will be on our substitutes bench. He might play a role. He might hang around for a bit of time. We might see how he goes, but I think ultimately he'll fall by the wayside as well. This player is can't defend, so definitely only got 5 tackling and 7 marking. Definitely can't play right back. He's got a bit of pace. He can, all round the technicals are quite low, but I mean you'd expect. He's only 17. That's the thing. He's just not good enough to play now, and he's only got 8 determination. And all in all, there's nothing really to be that excited about for him to ever progress into anything. Even if he had higher determination. So no, not good enough now, but also not going to be around to see if he's ever good enough in the future, and he probably won't be. He has got the better determination, and he's got nice mentals for a 16-year-old and nice physicals. But from a technicals perspective, just think that only 6 finishing. I don't know, he might hang around, we might see how he goes, but I think ultimately he probably can pick up youth players for very, very cheap on the youth options that are better than this guy, or similar. He might hang around for a bit of time because we might decide to have a youth squad and it takes time to replace him, but I think ultimately he'll fall by the wayside as well. Obviously we'd like to be wrong and we'd love to see his numbers just go up a lot, and maybe he has a future somehow, but I just think the starting point for too many of these attributes is just too low. I mean, the marking and the tackling, whatever, he's an attacking midfielder, so that's fine. Long throws, don't particularly care. So if you're talking about the technicals, you're sort of talking about, you care about passing, that's decent. Technique, decent. Long shots, decent. And then heading and dribbling are okay enough that they can progress. Crossing, I guess he doesn't particularly need it if he's an AMC that much, which is fine. So it's really this finishing and first touch, they're both too low. They're both 6, that's too low. But if they progress an awful lot, maybe. But in the end, I think the best you can kind of hope for here is an average player. But that might be enough to hope for when you're a team like us starting again. So maybe he will still be around in a few seasons' time if he's progressed as well. And now we're back to our starting goalkeeper. Let's see. Yep, we're back to the start. So that is our squad. So all in all, nothing at all to be excited about. We got one decent looking striker, one decent looking player really, but he's 33 years old and has no future at all. And our goalkeeper could potentially do a job, but again, he's 30. He's not. It's just nothing to be excited at all about. And we'll see how we go in our qualifying league matches. The positive part of this is, I guess, that it's going to be super easy to improve the squad, and we're going to be very careful and just make sure that from this stage as a new user, I think it's just better that you don't need to invest in players for the future. You're not really going to be able to outbid for people so much to get players that it might make sense if you want to play that way, but for us, we're not going to play that way. We're not going to try and buy players to sell them for a profit or anything. We're just going to buy players to help our club progress. That's all we're going to do. So for us, the better thing really at this point is to get a squad of 18 players, pretty much get 18 new players, and sort of not spend much money on any of them, like 100k, 200k, do that for sort of, or 3, hopefully, quite a few of them, and just get a core of 18 players and just have good depth and good players across the board and competition for lots of positions and various tactical options during matches, and sort of adhere to some kind of core tactic and overall philosophy. But we'll see how that shapes up. I don't think we want to go into it with I think we want to see what kind of players are available on the market that you can pick up cheap, and I think that would dictate the philosophy, because we don't want to be competing head on with the types of players that other users want, because then you've got to pay more money for them. So we really want to see what players we like the look of that nobody else seems to be interested in, and then sort of base philosophy going forwards on that. And I think we'll be able to pick these 18 players up. I think we won't spend a lot of money on them. I think we will drastically improve this squad, and I think we will have a good season next season in the league. As to what we do this season in the qualifying league with these guys, however, who knows, but we'll find out, I guess. So thanks for watching the assessment of our squad. Hope this was useful, and we'll do another video to show what tactic we put together for these players and why. So cheers, thanks for watching, and hope you watch the next video.